As the second largest building on the Berkeley campus, Dwinelle Hall is a hub of activity. Both before and after school, hundreds of students scatter across its many corridors, courtyards, and classrooms. But what Dwinelle is most known for is its unusual architectural design. The Daily Cal said it best on September 26, 1983. Stairwells and doors vary enormously in width and dimension. One side is numbered by the hundreds, the other by the thousands. The floors don't match, and they rarely even connect. From one point, the building has 2 stories. From another point, 3. And from another point, 5. Like a model of urban sprawl, the building covers 229,000 square feet in a cumbersome, labyrinthine fashion. The 11 entrances make it easy to enter Dwinelle, but as many students can attest, finding your way around and out is another story.
I still get lost all the time. Even I remember falling asleep in class once and deciding to take a little walk, and then I ended up getting lost for 6 or 7 minutes. I just went up a staircase and ended up on the 4000s, and I was just like, what is going on?
Perpetually, all the time. Students ask me where my office is, and I have a hard time trying to describe that to them. So mentally, I constantly get lost in the building.
Thought I could find my way around because I thought I knew Dwinelle by now, having been here for 4 years. And then I was trying to take the elevator to the B level, and I wound up in some garage or staff-only place. And yeah, I never assumed that I knew where I was going again.
Yeah, I was trying to find my teacher's office in the Spanish department, and I couldn't find it.
Confusing time I've had in Dwinelle is probably when I was trying to find a teacher's office hours, or go to teacher's office hours, and it was on the C floor, but I was going down the staircase and I went down too far, and then I ended up on B.
Trying to get there and ended up underground on the far side over there, and I've been here for 4 years and I've never seen this place before in my life.
Around only because I've been here for so long do I finally have a sense of bearings, but trying to explain it to anyone, it makes no sense at all.
Kathy Ferry, 1975. Once there was a girl who spent hours trying to find a classroom in Dwinelle. She looked and looked, but each corner she turned got her more and more lost. Just when she was at the point of tears, she heard a mysterious sound of water running. She turned another corner and saw the most beautiful fountain she had ever seen. She rested there and was able to continue her quest. Later, she tried to bring her friends to the fountain, but she could never find it again.
Lawrence M. Sevigny, 1991. There once was a freshman who on his first day of class at Cal had to find the foreign language lab in the basement of Dwinelle. He got lost and he wasn't seen for 3 weeks. Then one day, a TA decided to have an extra discussion in one of the rooms in the basement of Dwinelle. When he opened the door, he discovered the huddled dead body of the freshman in the corner of the room.
Our next stop is right here in front of Dwinelle Hall.
This building is actually known on campus as the most confusing building on our campus.
Most people refer to it as the freshman maze.
It has a great story behind it.
Legend is that Dwinelle was actually built by 2 brothers.
2 twin architects, okay?
2 feuding brothers.
With 2 brother contractors.
They were contracted to build the building, but right before they started, they ended up getting into a huge argument over what else? A woman.
Just decided to not talk to each other at all, and then when they were done, throw the building together.
One side does not agree at all with the other side, the stairwells go nowhere, and the numbers don't agree at all.
You might walk in an unassuming freshman, wander around, get lost trying to find your classes, and make it out just in time to be a senior headed for graduation.
Laura Salzman, 1979. The reason why Dwinelle Hall has such a strange architectural design is that it was built when Ronald Reagan was governor. It was originally supposed to be 3 separate buildings, but Reagan decided it would be cheaper to just make one.
Carolyn Hill, 1979. I know another reason why Dwinelle is so badly designed. It was built by a group of unemployed plumbers after World War II.
Mutasan Dahani. The building Dwinelle was basically two separate buildings and joined together. The right side was designed by a sort of crazy but genius architect-scientist professor. Apparently this professor did experiments with rats and mazes, and he wanted to see how humans compared.
Karl Marx, 1980. Dwinelle Hall is designed the way it is because the architects who designed it were brothers. They were inseparable, but the brother in charge died before the building was finished. The remaining brother was so stricken with grief, he didn't have the heart to finish the building according to the original plans.
Catherine Cortelio, 1979. Dwinelle was built by an architecture student who was studying at Berkeley, and he was flunked out, and he went to Stanford to finish his degree. But he came back to get his revenge.
Legend is a genre defined by folklorists now almost 200 years ago. It's a short, believable narrative. To some extent they're explanatory, but I think we would all say also that they fill some kind of psychological needs when they're not directly explanatory. So we don't have legends that are just, how did this building get to be the way it is, but we tell other kinds of stories that frequently document our fear or lack of knowledge about other communities.
The enigmatic Dwinelle Hall cost approximately $3.5 million when it was built in 1952. It was named in honor of John Whipple Dwinelle, a UC regent involved in the establishment of the University of California. It was actually built by 3 architects who worked for a San Francisco firm. Their names were Ernest Wyhe, Edward Frick, and Lawrence Cruz. Wyhe and Frick both studied at l'École des Beaux-Arts, and it is likely that their scholarship there contributed to the unusual shape of the building. In Paris at the time, it was very common for buildings to be offset by half a floor. When confronted with the need for a building with 2 purposes, classrooms and offices, they likely took from the Parisian influence in order to construct Dwinelle Hall. That, in combination with the unusual topography for which the Berkeley campus is known, is probably the reason for Dwinelle's jagged asymmetry.
Why we should care about these legends more than the so-called truth is they actually, I think, are, for us, they are more true. And I mean, legends help us to make sense of our world, and it's the believability part there, and the truth value is in the sort of the truth for us in the way our world functions. I think it's fair to say I know where every staircase goes now, and where every external door is, and I'm not sure Dwinelle has very many more secrets for me, but I live in hope.